Welcome to Free Flow, the Caribbean's best and biggest podcast. Let's get it.
You're a return guest.
Yes.
Welcome. I think you are the third return guest.
Really?
I've literally been I haven't posted any other return guests yet, but I've been having shoots with return guests lately. So they're not posted yet.
You better hurry up,
but
post me.
Boy, you'll be posted. Boy, you're going to probably be posted in the next 2 weeks or so. Because I still have like 2 episodes before you. But
Crazy.
yeah, return guests. I love having y'all. Y'all are the OGs of Free Flow.
Yes.
So-
So when you see Free Flow start making it millions, and I come, I have a recording saying that you all are the
Of
OGs.
course,
So,
the OGs.
I just want a little 5%. I'm not even asking a lot. But the mass though, 5% of $1 million.
Yeah,
All right.
lot of money.
I just want a little 5%.
5%.
I'm not picky. The number sounding small, but the bigger your amount is, the more my amount.
And I agree with you.
A little 5%.
For sure. Yeah, so OGs, so free thinkers, free thinking community, welcome. What should I say? Let's welcome another OG
Yes.
of Free Flow. Sarah. She's a neuro
Behavioral practitioner.
Practitioner. I was going to say coach. No? Coach would not be? Okay,
No.
so neuro behavioral practitioner.
Correct.
All right, she's the one that helps you get out of the procrastination, get out of the slump, get out of the patterns that are keeping you
stuck.
back. All right, yes, exactly. And today we're going to be having a conversation that I think will help me, but I also think will help a lot of us out here, because here on the show we are high achievers looking to get from where we are to where we want to be.
Yes.
And there are a lot of challenges that come with that. A lot of mental challenges, overthinking, overworking, not knowing how to rest, if to rest,
Right.
burning out, all that kind of thing. So we're going to get into just a lot of these little topics,
Okay.
just to see how we can help each other out in that regard. But before we do so, we have our icebreaker.
Okay.
All right, so let me get the icebreaker up. And the icebreaker is a simple question. At this point, what season are you in your life right now? Are you in life right now?
I'm growing because I planted the seeds already, so I feel like I have little sprouts. Yeah. I don't know what they call it in that phase.
Germination, they call it.
Germany.
I'm not sure.
That's not
Another
it.
plant coming out of
Let's
the
not
seed.
say it.
I think so.
So let's stick to growth. Yeah. That's sounding. Yeah.
Like
so
it making sense.
nobody can watch it and say, "Wow, these two people don't even know." They say, next thing we end up on Facebook
We cannot start on
as
that
a meme.
We cannot start on that note like we don't know what to talk about.
Yeah. So I in the growth phase. I think I'm getting little sprouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Getting sprouts. What kind of seeds were you planting?
I was planting understanding my clients. I was planting bringing awareness. I was planting taking up space. And I think I'm starting to get little sprouts from that groundwork.
I love the taking up space kind of thing. Taking up space. Because you really are. I've been seeing you more. I've been seeing...
I get that a lot. Like, every time I open my phone, I see you, Sarah. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's the point.
I've been seeing you more. I've been seeing better quality. Not just quantity now. I've been seeing better quality of your work. Better
Thank
quality.
you. I changed that in my content.
Yeah, exactly.
I did that.
Yeah, the better quality of content, just more trending topics, more trending reels, just things to catch your attention better. And it's working.
Thank you.
Just from
I did that shift.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm proud of you.
Thank
Keep
you.
going. Keep going. I think both of us are on a mission right now. So
Yes.
it's just good to see a fellow high achiever improving.
Thank you.
Yes. But yeah, let's get into it. A lot of us feel like we were working a lot, but we're not very productive. Why is that?
You see, because we were sold a hustle culture. Hustle culture is, I don't even use that term myself. I'm not a hustler. It's a toxic term because it's a toxic culture where they teach us that you have to do more, right? The more you do, the more you will get results. The more you do, the more you will get results, right? But that promise only works until you reach a level where the habits you used to have no longer working. Stress is now constant. Decisions carrying more weight. The stakes are higher. And your nervous system now has to cater for more than just your to-do list because your to-do list is not looking the same. So because of that, people figure that they have a productivity issue. But really and truly, they have a brain behavior mismatch. So they're not operating in alignment. What your brain is processing, what your behavior is doing, there's a disconnect. And that disconnect leads to the not seeing the results, the burnout, all of that, because you're not operating in alignment with the two.
What's the disconnect?
The disconnect really is, for example, discipline. That is a very, I can say,
controversial, maybe.
Big appeal. Corn. Let's stick on corn.
I'm just going to let you know this is a clip. This is going to turn into a clip whether you like it or not.
You're right. In my defense, I'm tired. Right? It is that simply because there's a lot of, if you're a discipline, you would have this, you would have that. So whatever is going on with you is a lack of discipline. Discipline is a state function, right? It is a function that is present when the nervous system is calm and is regulated and there's capacity. So internal safety has to be there first. Because discipline, motivation, willpower, those things naturally are wired in us. So it's not a case where you have to go and search outside and listen to motivational videos to get motivation. Yeah. Once you feel like you get to that point, it's because there's an internal disconnect. Your nervous system will ask questions of, if you're overwhelmed already, like your schedule is already crazy, it will ask, do I have energy for that? And if the answer is no, I don't care if that is your master's, you're not going to do it. Because it doesn't feel like it has the energy or the space for it. So it neglects it. It starts to find through what you're already doing, and that becomes a priority. And most times what you're already doing is just taking up your time, not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So the more you continue to do that, the things that are actually important get to the bottom of the list.
Yeah, so you're saying basically we will naturally be disciplined, however certain other things are taking up the space and the energy and our capacity to do what we're supposed to do. Okay, so how do we get past that though? Because the things that we are already doing, I feel like are, I guess, within our comfort zone, what we're comfortable doing, what maybe helps us cope with whatever else that may be happening in our life. But we also want to improve, and we know that we can get past that. But how do we get to that?
And I like the fact that you see the things that we're already doing and the habits that we already have. And there's something that we say in cognitive behavioral therapy: your solution is the problem. And by that we mean that whatever you're doing to cope is not working. And rather than adjusting, you tell me, but Sarah, I did that before already. Like, I had more pressure, I had more demands of life, and I pushed through and it went through. But you're not working again though.
It was a bandage on a broken arm.
You're not working again though. The brain really can adapt and adjust with what's going on. However, your nervous system is where everything lives. Your energy, your internal resources. So if that is overwhelmed, no amount of I did that before is going to, that you cannot get through a system that already feels like it has to in protection space. It already feels like it's tired. You can't get into that. What you're going to tell it, it's not going to listen to what you're telling it.
So how do we get past that though? How do we get to that?
You would have to start by regulating your nervous system.
What does that look like?
That looks like, for one, you can do if you feel like you're stuck in your head, a lot of that is, first of all, pausing, because we tend to ask ourselves, I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. But is that the only way to get it done? That is the first question to ask. And most times you realize that's not the only way to get it done.
Okay.
Because most of us follow the blueprint, we follow the plan, we follow, okay, this person did it that way, and we assume we have to do it that way. Does that way really align from you? Do you feel more friction when you pick up that way? So if I tell you, okay, you know what? You have to go down that route. But every time you think about going down that route, notice the emotions that show up. Restraint, frustration, resistance. Why are you fighting yourself though? You are not comfortable with that. And some people tell you growth grows in uncomfortability and all of that. Yes, that's right. But if you continue to go against the resistance, you will start things and not finish.
So my question to you is, how do you know, just from what you're saying, you would say like, okay, there's good resistance and there's bad resistance. So as you said, a lot of people would say, you grow from the discomfort.
Yes, you do.
However, there's a point where it's almost unreasonable and impractical discomfort.
Yes.
So how do I tell the difference?
For the difference between the two really is, all right, so a simple growth resistance, or something I'll give you a slight resistance, is like, let's say you normally walk that route and you're taking another route, right? You might have questions of, is that safe if they have dogs on the road? You understand? Because you never walk there, right? But the threat
thing is to get chased by a dog with a catapult in your foot.
But the threat is not high where your system is really, really, you're feeling that kind of tension where you want to freeze up. It's more of a curiosity resistance of, okay, I want to go there, but I'm not sure of this, that, but you still want to dabble your water. Then we have the other things that happen where we're trying and we're hitting the wall. We are aware that we're hitting the wall, but we're not changing the routine. We keep knocking our head on the wall. Then we're frustrated. We start to beat ourselves up. We start to have negative conversations with ourselves. This is where the growth is not. The growth doesn't matter how uncomfortable it is. It's not feeding your brain the right response it's supposed to.
The definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and
but
over.
a lot of us do that. I get a lot of serum, but that used to work for me, but it's not working anymore. And I think that's a problem with us high achievers, is what we did to get us to good, we cannot seem to part with it. But in order for you to get great, the strategies that you use to get you there will not be the same strategies to take you to the next level.
That's true. I can relate to that, because a lot of people, including myself, this is what got you there. So obviously it should work to get you to
No. Because along there we developed survival strategies. We developed unhealthy habits probably that we have outgrown. However, we believe that because it worked and it got me to tier 1, it should get me to tier 2, but you are not the person that you are at tier 2 that you were at tier 1, because there was growth. So therefore, the habits and that you used are no longer sufficient, and you have to realize that it's not.
Yeah. I love that, because again, it's when you get into tier 2, I like how you put it, tier 2.
Yes.
It's a different level.
It is
different tools.
You need to be able to modify and pay attention with yourself, and that's why I focus a lot on what's the relationship with you. It's always you versus you. It doesn't matter what anybody else is. It's you versus you. So what is the relationship with you? What are the conversations? These are the things that we did. What are we open to doing now? Where are we going next? Because like you say, running with the catapult, but stop running with that. They don't even making catapults again.
Yeah.
Why you don't want to part with your You understand? You rather run barefoot and the catapult bus go through all that stuff. You fall on the road wet. You in the hospital. They have to take out all kind of crucial on your knee. buy the sneaker, you pass catapult level already, but you tell me is it catapult that make me get into the Olympics, so I need to keep it as a souvenir.
Yeah.
Don't use it as your strategy still.
I feel like you could get so much more philosophical about the way we speaking, but Missy, let go of the catapult. I think that should be our motto.
When you post that video, let go of the catapult.
I think that should be our motto for 2026. Let go of the catapult. Buy a slides, at least if you can't afford a sneaker. Buy a slides.
May say, but you see the thing about it
Get
is
a Crocs, you know. Get
we
something.
are creatures of habit.
Yes, we are.
We are. So that is where the restraint also comes. We are creatures of habit, fear of the unknown, venturing into the difference. There's the fear of the unknown. I don't know, what if it work, it will not work. I know the catapult was working, but then you kind of have to get into it to know. As I remember I gave a talk recently, and the question was, I said a lot of people ask, what am I capable of? That's not a question that you just answer and you write, okay, well, I'm capable of running, I'm capable of, no. What I'm capable of, when you figure it out, when you put it that way of you trying to put a point list, that's you like standing up on the shore and asking, is the water cold? You can see all the water, list the color, this, that, but when the question comes, is the water cold? You cannot answer that because you haven't stepped in. What am I capable of is something that you need to dive into, because I can guarantee it will not be the point form list that you'll discover. You'll discover so many wonderful things about yourself. What am I capable of is an exploration.
I love that.
It is.
I really.
It's not refined to a list. It's not. Get into the water. Get your feet wet. Jump in. That's what you're capable of. That's what you will know. What can I do? What I cannot do? Where can I adjust?
Yeah, because it's through action that you find out
what you're capable of. But a lot of us, when we're doing our goals, we're doing our preparations, we're hitting these walls. But I'm capable of this. I'm smart. How I don't know the answer to that? Are you exploring you?
So what then would be the route to putting together goals? Because obviously you would write down your goals based on what you think you're capable of, you know. So how do you not sell yourself short, you know, when trying to write down goals? For example, you say, okay, I may be capable of making $5,000 because or you know, being able to do 20 push-ups every day, just because you know that you may be capable of that. But how do you not sell yourself short? Because you may very well be capable of making $1 million or
it's
even
true.
200 push-ups.
It's true.
So how do you not sell yourself short in that regard?
By not setting goals that are easy to cross off your list. We have a habit. All I say we because I've done it already. We guilty. We already know we can do the $5,000. Let me hit $5,000. When you see that we are writing end of year goals, everything we do already for the last year, we know we can do again for the next year. They barely have anything new. $5,000, you know, you check that off. Stop making goals that are easy to cross off. Make goals that hold you accountable.
So I get that.
So I was about to give an example.
Okay.
So for example, exercise. That's a very common one. I want to lose 30 pounds. All right, you write that goal. You might debate that with me, and be like, but Sarah, that's not a goal easy to cross off. You'd be surprised if you show up as you say you would show up. That 30 gets crossed off. But guess what? After you cross off that 30, you didn't change all your habits, because all you was focused on is getting to that number on the scale. You didn't focus too much on the habits and the journey to get to on that scale. So when the scale and you reach there, it's easy for you to relapse and put back 10 times the 30 that you put.
Because you were focusing on the 30 pounds and not the person that is 40 pounds lighter.
And apart from that, it was something easy to cross off because you gave it a checklist, right? Versus saying, I want to be in the best shape of my life. You cannot cross that off in 2 days. You can cross that off in 3 months. You can cross that off in 6 months, because it holds your ass accountable. So therefore, you need to get to that shape. And then when you get to that level of being the best shape of your life, you are a whole new person where now you love that person.
Yeah.
And then you maintain it. That's more than just doing the 30 pounds loss.
I feel like what you're telling me now is that your goals should change you as opposed to kind of you accomplishing something, because
Yes,
when
it should be more than a checklist.
yeah, when you change the kind of person you are, the goals will get accomplished regardless. You know, so it's more mental or psychological thing where, like, you know, it's you're the one that's changing, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. But we kind of segued a bit. So let's get back to where we were, which was the being productive and that kind of thing.
Yes, I forgot we were there.
Yes. So, from a neurobehavioral perspective, what happens in our brain when we're just doing a lot? When we're just doing stuff to do things as opposed to actually being productive with it? What's going on in our brain?
Is you saying are we just doing things?
Yeah, because that's what happens. Because you kind of get that dopamine boost when you just feeling like you're doing a lot.
I
You know?
like when you say that because that's what busy does. Busy doesn't always equal productive, and that's the biggest misconception and the lie that we tell ourselves. Because not everything moves the needle. Busy gives you that low dopamine hit because it's low effort. You know, you feel like, oh my God, I got a lot done. But for you to be productive, productivity is things that move the needle, things that take you one step closer to whatever it is that you want to get done. And most times, our busy not including nothing productive.
Because again, it's trying
Right?
to accomplish things you're already capable of doing.
Yes, and the brain in itself would obviously default to the easy wins, which is what the busy does to make us feel like, boy, I had a long day, but what you do for the day, boy, nothing that you're supposed to do. But you had a long day, right? It's not looking at the meaningful progress that productivity gives. It's going for the low dopamine hit that you get from being busy. So you're busy all day, you're tired, but then when you really sit and think about it, you haven't done anything that moves the needle.
Why do we like that so much?
The dopamine,
Just the
the
dopamine,
feeling,
yeah.
the feeling of a sense of accomplishment it gives us.
Yeah.
But I say the word sense because it's a very vague thing. There's no capacity in there. But the sense that it gives us, we enjoy that.
Why do so many of us know what to do, but we don't do it?
Because we are mentally overwhelmed.
Is it from pressure from ourselves? Because I feel like for me, it would be that. It would be, I feel like I know what I want to do. I'm so motivated, but sometimes I give myself so much pressure that I feel demotivated because of the amount of pressure I give myself. Because, like, again, I think we actually spoke about that the last time you were. It's like, I would work so much and I would actually be so productive. However, because of the grand scheme of things and all what I know I need to accomplish, I still feel like I've never done enough. Like, I would work 6 hours and edit 6 videos and do all the content and do all that and, you know, just work. And then when I'm done, I'm like, I still have that to do. You know, I still haven't done enough. You know, so why does that happen?
It's a conversation it's not a conversation, it's a definition of what you have as success in your brain. That's where it starts. So your idea, your definition of what you say success is really causing this toxic habit. It's a toxic habit, just so you know. It's a toxic habit of not feeling like enough. That's why you do what you do. So you put pressure on yourself because it does not feel like enough. So you have attached success to a certain identity, a certain quota of work. And doesn't matter how much you do, most likely the quota that you put is a ridiculous number and a ridiculous expectation. Therefore, nothing is enough. Nothing is enough. So you are going to continue to be on that hamster wheel of chasing the next thing. You don't celebrate your achievements. You meet the goal. Yeah, the goal had to get done.
Wow.
No.
Look at you quote me. Have you heard me say that?
No, I just work with high performance, so I know.
Because literally somebody told me, I don't even think I should say that on camera, but
Say it so I can clip it and use it against you when you post against me.
I made, like, when it comes to the podcast, I made a really, I'll probably tell you off camera, but I made a really huge accomplishment. It's a big accomplishment for someone that's actually been doing this for less than a year. A really good accomplishment. And, you know, somebody was telling me, congratulations, like, that's a great job. I'm so excited for you. I was like, you know, it needed to be done.
No.
It needed to be done. It was a goal. It needed to be done.
Yes, it was a goal. However, it needs to be acknowledged. Your brain is always listening. In order for you to do more, it's the relationship with yourself, as I said before. Your self-trust, your capabilities, that foundation is where you stop feeling like you're on a hamster wheel because you start to meet you where you are. So you need some self-compassion, which clearly is, I don't know if it's in the room with us because it's not in you. Self-appreciation, it's in the room. I don't know where. It's in the room somewhere. Yeah, it's somewhere. Right? Self-acknowledgement. These fundamentals matter because they always tell us about financial freedom, but mental and emotional, it's a three thing. All right, and only as I got into this space, I'm realizing that it's a three thing: financial freedom, emotional freedom, mental freedom. That is where you're really successful. You have to have finding the balance between all three, because it doesn't matter how much money you make. If your mental and your emotional is messy, the money don't mean shit. It's not going to prevent you from having high anxiety. It's not going to prevent you from feeling burnt out. It's not going to prevent you from feeling like you're not enough and you could have $1 million to your name. You need to have that kind of relationship with yourself, which is the other side.
You said something about compassion for yourself. How do you develop that compassion? Because I do feel that's something I'm missing, eh?
Is you telling me how you develop that? You like we're going in a lab and I tell you, okay, mix, like how they make the Powerpuff Girls.
Sugar spice. But how do you develop something like that? I mean, I do tell myself, like, you know, sometimes I give myself a pat on the back.
That was not even realistic.
Yeah, I say a good job, you know, like when I do feel proud of something, I can't remember. There was recently, probably a week or two ago, I give myself a pat on the back. I was like, you know, good job.
How did it feel?
I just felt a very low amount of just being proud. Being proud. Because it was a thing where I wasn't being as consistent for probably the couple of weeks before. I wasn't being consistent with just my work as much as I would like to be, and you know, I just had to sit down, just pray, and just ask God to push me when I'm feeling lazy, you know. And you know, I just got that push, and I just push work. I set my time, so you know, if I can get a full 2 hours of work, I should be satisfied. You know, I did that and I got my full 2 hours. I even did a little bit more just because I felt like I could have done more. And then when I was done, you know, I took a shower and I went to bed. Well, before I went to bed, I was like, good job. You know? So is that it?
When you said the good job, how did you feel?
I felt proud. A very small amount of just being proud of myself.
That is our indication that it did not work.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow.
Because you see, there is a lot of you get into the medical world and you hear a lot of these terms, because these terms are everywhere. High functioning. You hear high functioning depression, high functioning anxiety. These are the two common ones they tell you about, or they just say somebody is high functioning. But there is something called high functioning self-abandonment, where you shelf yourself and your productive life takes toll over your personal life. So you see that a little bit of, there's some self-abandonment happening. So somewhere along the journey, you decided that Yeah, we are right. We are right. We don't need this extra thing. We just need to get the shit done, and you shelf yourself. So therefore, when you have the conversations with you, you don't believe you. It doesn't spark the high dopamine and feeling that you're supposed to have because you and you are not meeting. You probably don't even connect to the you that you feel that you're supposed to. It's probably somewhere lost in the middle of the rubble of life. How many things on top of it? And you said that and you are in it underneath. Yeah. Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
How do you connect to that you though?
By hiring me.
Quick plug. Quick plug.
By hiring me.
Sneaky little plug.
Because we have to do the mental work. We have to
Mental work.
we have to remove the cognitive load in order for the normal nature of the brain to come back online, and then we can start to connect with different parts of you.
Is procrastination laziness? Or
No.
Is there something?
Procrastination.
Let me finish my question.
Sorry, guys.
Is procrastination laziness, or
No.
is there something going on neurologically that needs to be fixed?
It's not laziness. Procrastination is a nervous system alarm.
Alarm.
It's an alarm. It tells us that something is going on.
So you're saying that it's a defense mechanism. Why are we defending against something that we feel like we're supposed to do?
No, because you see, procrastination is usually like an indication that something is going on. Either you need more clarity, like, whatever you're doing is not clear. So the brain cannot move forward if it doesn't know where it is supposed to go. So it's a signal, not a setback, when you see you dealing with procrastination.
But in my experience, if I'm procrastinating, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, for example, I know I need to be editing a video. I'm on my bed watching an anime. I'm in my bed watching a series.
Is you telling me you know you're supposed to be doing?
I know it's a video. I know I need to be making content right now. I know I said today I want to make at least 3 reels.
Right. And then you over here doing
And
something
I'm
else.
in my bed lying down. And I'm thinking, my entire time watching the series, it's on my mind that I need to be doing this. Alright? It's just that I feel like I'm stuck to the couch or I'm stuck to my bed. Why is that going on? Like, why is that a defense or an alarm? Why is an alarm going off in my brain because of that?
All right, so it's a neurobiological signal, actually. So your brain's communicating that it's overwhelmed, it's uncertain, or it's stuck in a loop of fear or discomfort. So it's a signal. So understanding the neuroscience behind procrastination is how you can empower yourself and break free and start to build momentum and all of that. So while your brain is delayed and you're watching the anime, right? At the core, procrastination is a result of conflict between the prefrontal cortex, which is your CEO brain, the brain that's online for decisions and everything, and your limbic system, which is in charge of all your emotions. So that is a conflict between the two, where when you face with a task, it triggers uncertainty or fear or a sense of a challenge. So your limbic system kicks in and it says, boy, I got so be tired if I tell you that feeling uncomfortable. We're doing that now. Let's I don't get that anime feeling good. That anime.
Exactly. Literally.
Right? So even if your rational brain knows, which is a prefrontal cortex, saying, God said, no, we have to do that. Gee, we tired for the time. We're not doing that. Going to take too much energy. Do we have energy for that? No.
And I
Right?
find myself like, I'm so convincing to myself.
Yes, we are good at that.
I'm so convincing to myself, like, to just say, like, I already worked my 9 to 5, you know. I work for the entire day. Do I not deserve to sit down for the rest of the day?
Your solution is the problem. We are very good. And I always ask a client that when you see we're dealing with something, I say, what is the story you just tell yourself? I literally ask what it, because I know you have to have a conversation. I know how the brain works. I know there's a conversation you tell it for it to pause. So you see the boy, I work hard. I deserve.
Day off. Even
You
if
do.
it's due tomorrow.
You
I
do
deserve
deserve
that
a day off, but structure that day off in another way. Because even if you give the story, tomorrow comes, you're disappointed in yourself. You're mad at yourself. You're starting to beat up yourself. Then we start to dig deeper into the hole of not liking ourselves. Yeah, we mad at we beating up. You know, you could have done better. You know better. Why you didn't do this? You see, I should have not listened to myself here, and I should do the and you're like, wow, now I end under the pressure, you're frustrated, you're rushing, you feel like the quality not what it's supposed to be. There's a whole bunch of emotional care. Why? Let's not do that. Yeah, let's not do that.
There's this thing that I do, and I feel I don't know, but a lot of people may be able to relate to this. I feel like I work better under pressure.
That is how you trained your brain.
Yes, okay.
But doesn't mean that it cannot be trained to work in a healthy way.
Because you know why? I sit down, I just thought about it. I'm like, you know, every time I have a task to do, I can have 3 weeks to do the task. Okay? The task that can probably be done in 2 days. You know, let's say it's due in 3 weeks. I will stay there until 2 days before the task is actually due. It needs to be done. And then I will get started on the task 3 weeks later. Like, I just feel like I get so much more done. It's so much harder to work where there's so much free time left. And I don't know why. I guess again it's the way I train myself to work. But
Apart from
it just
that,
feels so much better, so much easier.
It's not easier. Let me whisper it. You have an addiction. You're addicted to the dopamine kick that comes with the rush. You're feeling like a badass. You're feeling unstoppable in that zone because you're making the impossible happen in a short time. You see that rush of adrenaline and dopamine? Mama, you love it.
Now, you know, like, come to think of it, what I used to do when I was in secondary school, I did art in secondary school. And let me tell you, your art pieces from 5 for CXE and stuff, just think about it like that. The art exam for CXE was 12 hours long.
Wow.
6 hours apart. So 6 hours one day, 6 hours another day. You do 3 hours, a break, and another 3 hours, and then you do it another day. So 12 hours basically. And the day before just my art assignments, they would give us a week to do the art assignments, and I used to start it at about 9 o'clock in the night the day before it was due. And I used to stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, do it, and then go to school. So I've been doing this from secondary school.
You're addicted to it. It's an addiction. Addiction doesn't always mean substance abuse and gambling, and no. You're addicted to the feeling. You love it. You love the rush that it gives you. For some reason, you want to test out my theory? The next time you see you're late to your normal routine, be late, have the dopamine hit of, you know, the rushing and you're against time. When you finish, I'm proud of you. I will bet money, Nurkeever, that proud feeling going to be real high when I ask you.
So basically you're saying I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yes, you love it.
Wow.
You love it.
So
you love
basically
it.
training ourselves to do this.
Yeah, you're addicted to the feeling. And the reason why pasting things seeming slow and boring, because it doesn't hit. It's not hitting that dopamine nice feeling that you like.
So how do you get that dopamine from actually doing things in a time that actually is possible to do something?
You have to rewire your patterns, my brother. It's not as easy as thinking your way out of it.
For us to get past that dopamine addiction that we have, it's to take a step back and to
rewire the patterns,
creating new habits,
So thankfully for neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to adapt and adjust, you can retrain it. And you can give yourself, because dopamine really is the reward chemical, right? It's that feel-good chemical you get when you accomplish. You can give yourself doses of dopamine throughout the process. So for example, the rush feeling that you get. You can do it, let's say you had to write a 20-page essay, and the feeling of the rush you get at the end of you have to do it in a week, you do it in 8 hours. That feeling that you get, you could still do it in the week. What you do is you can do it on a smaller scale where you challenge yourself, because it's really the challenge you like, So even if you have a whole week to do the 20 pages, you set it at a time that is almost impossible, but your brain enjoys the challenge. So let's say after your 8 hours for the day, and you maybe have a small window of 30 minutes. You go say, you know what? Let me try and see how much I can write in that 30 minutes. You will get the same feeling than the 8 hours. And then after you finish that, you rest, you feel accomplished. Your brain will want to do it again tomorrow. So you can give yourself those, because it's really the challenge that it enjoys, right? You do that, and when you do it, you say, wow, in 40 minutes, you write 10 pages. You say, Mama, who would have thought, boy? Tomorrow, you do the same. And then when the deadline, which you might even forget to do that, because how many days past the dopamine hit already? Yeah. They send you the email, hey, Nurkeever, don't forget to submit your 20 pages. Yeah. Because now you're no longer rushing.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I also find with myself, I love the feeling of conquering something.
I know that.
And
I tell you,
just being the master of something, like, especially something that was beating you. Something that was beating me, like for the life of me, I just couldn't get it. I like the feeling of just being so much better now that you're doing it without thinking. Like that feeling is
it's addicting,
yes. It's addictive to me. And I think that's why I set so much high goals for myself to the point where I cannot do it. And
we are talking about the conversation about success.
Yeah, like that's why my goals are so big, because I don't know, I like the feeling of not being able to do something and then getting to the point where, like I don't even have to think now. I can just...
Yeah, it's not like a feeling you have to post your hand and say, hi, my name is Nurkeever and I'm addicted. I'm addicted to...
Wow.
I'm addicted to adrenaline.
Wow. That's crazy.
I don't know how to stop.
I don't think I do. Honestly, I don't think I do.
You do, you can. and nothing stuck. But you're addicted to it. That's why you operate how you operate.
Where does procrastination feed into self-doubt? How does it feed into self-doubt?
Procrastination doesn't necessarily feed into self-doubt, because procrastination in itself is a signal of something is overwhelmed, it's unclear, it is uncertain. Self-doubt in itself can cause the procrastination, but the procrastination cannot cause the self-doubt, if you're following me. So self-doubt can lead to procrastination, but procrastination cannot lead to self-doubt.
Okay, I feel you.
You follow me now? Because self-doubt really is your conversation with you, your belief in yourself, your level of self-trust, right? Your commitment to you. We're always looking for commitments from outside of people and say, okay, in a relationship, you say, Nurkeever doesn't even call me. I'm not feeling special. Okay, all right, that's for the outside person. But what is the commitments with yourself? What's your conversations with yourself? Do you keep your promises? How many times you say, I'm going to do this tomorrow? No, parfait. Okay. Right? And the more you continue to do that, your brain doesn't believe that you're capable, because you're not sticking to the promises. Every time I say I'm going to do X, I don't do it. So it's evidence of you following through is zero.
So can you walk us through that cycle? Because again, it's always this, you want to do it, but you just not. Right? Can you walk us through that cycle of, okay, how does it actually happen? So people could actually look at themselves and see and observe for themselves how it happens, right? You have the procrastination. Now, I'm not the professional, right? That's why I have to let you do it. So, but you have the procrastination, and then you get to the point where you're just not going to do it on that day. Right? Walk us through that cycle from knowing that you have something to do, and how do you get to just not doing it at all? What's the cycle there? What's the process that we go?
Usually one is you feeling overwhelmed. Just by the thought of it, you feel like you just don't have the time or the space to do it. That's usually a feeling that people get that leads to them procrastinating. But for the self-doubt in itself, it's really where you have to do the thing and you start to be hesitant. That's where self-doubt is present. So I know I'm supposed to come here and I said, boy, I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. You sure I can do that podcast thing? All kind of
that hesitation.
That hesitation starts to feed in the little brain. Like, you sure for true? Maybe I should have canceled.
Angel and then
Yeah, maybe I should have canceled. But you're supposed to know your stuff. You sure you know your stuff? When you're tired, you might say something wrong, like you couldn't pronounce the word earlier. Right? Those little, and then we feed into those conversations mentally because we are observers of our thoughts, but we sometimes forget we are observers and we engage in the thoughts. So the internal conversation, everything that comes, we engage in it, we entertaining it in our head rather than just observing it. So that mental tug of war already starting at the top there, and it's really based on your track record. So you start to get hesitant. You start to believe, boy, I could do that. You start to say you could do that. You're feeling overwhelmed. Guess what? You procrastinate.
What are the warning signs that we should be observant of so that we can kind of nip it right in the bud?
More than just the warning signs, how about we don't create it? First of all, keep your promise to yourself. Don't tell me if, but baby, you cannot be asking nobody for commitment and you're not committed to yourself. So, self-accountability, self-commitment. So don't be vexed that Jane or Peter not calling you, they not committed, they not texting you on time. If you say you are going to do so and so for yourself today, do it. You starting so with the self-belief. You do the things that you say you're going to do. Keep your promises to yourself. And then at the end of the day, acknowledge it. So you see how you're able to come and say, what? I appreciate what you do for me. You remember I was running late for work here and you come and you give me a ride. At the end of the day, even if it's as simple as you say, I will drink more water today. You drink the more water. At the end of the day, say, what? I kept my promise to myself. I drank my water. You see that? That little line, that little acknowledgement starts to rewire in the brain. Like, okay, tomorrow maybe you might fall short. But then now the brain has 2 supporting evidence. So the resistance is going to be less. So it's not just the, oh my God, she always saying she doing and she ain't doing it. So man, we haven't wasted energy on that. So we're not studying that. Now it has, okay, she said she would do it. She did it. And yes, sometimes she hasn't done it, but the willpower is higher now because now it's not sure if you go do it or if you're not going to do it versus asking, do I have the energy for that? Do I have the capacity for that? Usually she doesn't do it, so why are we wasting energy on that in the first place?
Before the percentage was a 0%.
Right, so you give us, it gives it a chance to figure, okay, well, you know what? Maybe we can.
Now, I like 2 things that you said, right? Again, you said that like just the statistics of it all, like you did it before, so you can do it again, so there's a chance that you can do it. And then the second thing you said was, it wasn't really something you said, but it's just something I got from what you said. Not overwhelming yourself with the task, because as much as you kind of trying to create that trust for yourself and that reputation to yourself, it's like you don't want to give yourself 5 goals, or 5 goals for the day is a lot when you just starting.
Yes,
out.
it
so
is.
the one drinking water for the day, okay, let me just try to drink my full bottle of water today instead of let me wake up at 6 o'clock, let me go and sleep at 9 o'clock.
I like how you said about that 6 o'clock thing because I need to debunk that. Waking up early will not solve all your problems. Yeah, I said it. Whoever wants to fight me, I have time today. Okay? Waking up early is not going to solve all your problems, and that is what they taught us. Everybody's life is different. So how you can tell me on one side, everybody's life is different, you are unique, but you're going to pitch me the wake up early, you pitching everybody. My lifestyle and your lifestyle different. So you're getting up at 4:30 because some guru online tell you if you get up at 4:30, you're a loser. And then by the time it's 6 o'clock, you're neck breaking in traffic.
Doing tango.
Okay. You reach out work there for 8 o'clock, you're not productive, you can do shit because you want to sleep.
Yeah.
Right?
What's important though, is it rest? Just rest, I guess, in general.
Rest is extremely, let me tell you, rest is extremely, 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 extremely important, right? And we were taught that catching up on sleep, if you miss there, no, that's BS. There's no such thing as catching up on sleep. Your brain not working at where, it have this kind of reserve that you can pull back. Right? It's because we have not had a healthy conversation about rest. Because when you hear in the productivity, again, toxic hustle culture, we'll sleep when we make it. If you sleep in, you wake.
I sleep when I'm dead.
You sleep, right? You know these things. You know these things.
That's what I
right?
I sleep when I'm dead.
Right? So we nod and we still go ahead and do another email. We re-edit another podcast episode. And we figure we will catch up on sleep. We'll sleep on a weekend. We'll take a nap tomorrow. But biologically, your brain and nervous system doesn't work that way. Sleep is not like a bank account where you can just withdraw during the week and then deposit it on Saturday.
Yep, that's true.
Right? The brain needs sleep. Your brain does most of it work when it's sleeping, We believe the brain working when it's awake.
I was actually watching this thing where they were saying, I think it was about learning quicker, studying, or that kind of thing. And they were saying, like, one of the best ways to learn is to study hard for like 1 hour and then go to sleep. Because that's when you create the neural pathways.
Yeah, when you're sleeping, your brain detoxes emotional waste. Memories are organized and stored.
Exactly.
So the hippocampus is doing its thing.
When you're sleeping.
When you're sleeping, your stress responses are regulated. Your nervous system resets. Your immune system recharges. Your body starts to repair at a cellular level. It cannot do that when you're not sleeping.
Wow.
All right.
That's why people that are very depressed sleep a lot. Because it regulates your stress response.
Well, if you're very depressed, it's more something clinically going on that you're not processing. So sleep not going to hit it as it's supposed to. In that case, usually they use the sleep as a distraction and escape.
Okay.
As an escape. But a healthy sleeping patterns, that is what it is supposed to do. And the truth that nobody tells you, when you skip sleep, you're skipping healing. You cannot heal what you won't rest.
Yeah.
No supplement can replace it. So don't tell me you're taking all the multivitamins, all the melatonin, all the chamomile tea fighting for your life. The ashwagandha, all of that shit you're telling me. Say, I'm not sleeping, but I'm taking that. No.
You just need to sleep.
Yes. Your mindset, no mindset hack can bypass that or telling you, boy, you just need to stay awake. You cannot evolve a brain that doesn't shut down. If you keep it up in high active mode, what time it's shutting down to reset and do what it's supposed to do?
So we've spoken about a lot so far, procrastination, self-doubt and all that. I think with all that, we need to kind of take time to self-reflect. What's the difference, I should say, what's the difference between healthy self-reflection that would or should include, in my opinion, being real with yourself, especially about your limitations, and destructive self-reflection? What's the difference between healthy self-reflection and destructive self-reflection? Because you can be real, but where do you draw the line where you kind of too real and you kind of demotivating yourself or discouraging yourself?
Or even creating overthinking.
Yes.
Healthy self-reflection is bypassing your emotions and looking at facts. So how did today go? Not how you feel about today. How did today go? What did you actually get done today? All right? You start to answer these things based on the facts that happened today. We're not involving your emotions because your emotions sometimes can be very irrational. And it can lead to, because if I hit you with the, how you feel about today? But today was a wasted day. I'm not feeling accomplished. I do nothing. What happened today? How did today go? Well, I woke up at X amount of time. I do this, I do that. You start to list things and then you start to realize you did more than you were actually feeling that you did.
And that's when it improving the
It
emotion.
improve, yes.
Okay.
But then when you start, if how you feel about today, you start to tell me all the things about Mary had a little lamb, and you went up on the hill and Jack and everybody fall and all kind of story going on. I didn't ask you that. That is when you start to dissect your day in a way from an emotional lens versus a rational lens.
That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. I'm happy to have you here because that makes so
He
much
just like to
sense.
pick me. I suspect he does one free training. So he's just putting me on to pick my
But
brain
this
so
is
he
my
can
session,
go and do
guys.
his homework.
This is my session, guys. But that makes so much sense. Removing the emotion from it all. You can be so irrational.
That is what the self-reflection part of it. So really list, what really happened. So you're reflecting on your day, that's what you do. And asking you about your feelings. And at the end of it, you can decide to ask yourself, so you know how you feel about your results and whatever. And then now, I can bet that the first feeling you had is non-existent because you would have realized that you did a lot of things that you probably didn't even notice that you did.
Yeah, I love that. So, what does destructive self-reflection look like?
The emotional parts of it and dissecting your day, and being like, all or nothing kind of thing of, what, if I don't wake up at 4 o'clock to exercise, I just not exercising for the day, I'm a failure, I cannot maintain this. Rational of, maybe let me do 40 minutes. Your brain not thinking of that. It's an all or nothing. These are toxic reflections. These are toxic habits. It cannot be all or nothing. You have to give yourself wiggle room. If you're still being so strict, you are making things difficult for your brain. And it wants to support you.
I feel like so many people will be able to relate.
So even if you wake up at 4 o'clock and you cannot get the hour in, they have 10-minute YouTube videos. Don't tell me they don't have 10-minute YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Right? When the 30 minutes pass and you realize, wow, I can't do the full hour. The 30 minutes left, you sit down there on your phone, vexed that you couldn't do the hour. You could have do a 10-minute YouTube video.
True.
And get a workout in. And get that dopamine and get that sense of accomplishment.
So sometimes it's not, especially when it's just a matter of let's just push for consistency. It's not necessarily the quality of what you're doing. It's like the quantity in terms of, okay, I didn't do a full hour.
But you don't need a full hour. Yes. Because consistency is not quantity. Consistency or quality in itself is really being able to maintain. Consistency is maintenance. We get caught up in quality and quantity and all of that stuff. But in order for something to be consistent is what capacity that you can maintain. And that's what we miss. Consistency is maintenance. So what can you maintain? Realistically, can you maintain the hour every day? No. Why are we trying to fight with it? Because somebody online said we need the hour. May say stop doing that.
So if it's 5 minutes.
If it's 5 minutes, get the 5 minutes in. Because let me tell you, when you see you don't get the hour done Monday, you're not motivated to do it Tuesday. You're not motivated to do it Wednesday. Maybe Thursday you go try a thing. Maybe Friday you go try a thing. So at the end of the week, you know what happens? You either have 1 hour for your 7 days or no hours. Versus you do 10 minutes every day. You have a whole hour for the week. All right. Which one would really give you results? The 1 hour for the 1 hour for the 7 days with that barely hit anywhere, or the 10 minutes you did. And even if you fall short of the 10 minutes, you might still end up getting half an hour for the week.
If I realize I'm stuck in that cycle. I'm stuck in the cycle. No matter what YouTube trick, life hack, mental hack I try, I'm stuck in the cycle. What's the first thing I should do? The absolute first thing I do, I realize I'm stuck. I need help. What should I do?
When you realize you're like, it's really trying to reduce your mental load. Because your brain is 2% of your body weight. That's how heavy it is. But it uses 20% of your energy. of your bodily energy. That's a shy. Now, when 20% of that is not spent on consistency, it's not spent on motivation, it's not spent on will power, it's spent on overthinking, it's spent on self-doubt, it's spent on procrastination. You're tired every day. No amount of mind hack going to get you out of that, because the energy that your brain has to be using on other things, it's using it on those things. So you're exhausted before the day starts. You're exhausted throughout the day. And you're just carrying that load mentally, and then it starts to manifest physically, and then your physical day gets crazy. So we have to start to reduce the load.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a very hard question. Okay.
Remember, I just hope you
It's not a hard question. I'm just messing with you. But I want you to give me 2 habits that I can implement immediately that would improve my productivity.
2 people can have the same skill but have radically different outcomes. So one leads from pressure and one leads from regulation. So right now, all of us are leading from pressure. So for regulation, I have something called a CEO micro practice. You know, my saying is CEO, you all hear that everywhere, because I believe you are the CEO of your life. Before you have a business or anything else, take charge of the brain, your greatest asset. That is who you have to be the CEO for. So that's called a restore. So I will be taking notes.
Yes.
Restore stabilization before you push forward. All right. So we're doing that kind of regulation reset. It only takes a couple of minutes.
Dumb it down. What does that mean?
What restore stabilization before you puff your so we're regulating your nervous system.
Okay.
So that you're not feeling overwhelmed before you approach. So that's a reset that you can do every day.
Okay.
So step 1 is to shift the body first, right? So you stand or you're seated, you have your feet grounded, you inhale, right? And then you hold for 4 seconds. So we inhale in and we hold in 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then out through your mouth, which should be longer. We do that like 3 times. That holding itself sends a signal to your nervous system that we are safe. So it starts to move in threat mode and it starts to calm down, right? Then we place one hand on our heart and then we say quietly that I am not behind and I am capable. Because you are not behind. We're not on no dog not chasing you. We're not on a race. Right? And then after you've done that, you ask, what is one decision or one action that would reduce internal friction right now? What is one thing that you can do to help you feel less, because it's really getting you to be in a calm state. So for some people, it might be just listening to a little music, right? And music usually is the go-to one. You play a little song, and that puts you in a calm preparation state. And then you're unstoppable for the day because the nervous system not feeling like, boy, we have to fight. We're not fighting today. Today we calm, we're relaxing. We all right.
Yeah.
Vibe is good because it literally gives you the boost that you need. Once you take it out of fight mode and you put it in relax mode, it will do everything that you ask it to do.
So my question is, okay, so we've done that, right? We've taken, let's say, one step.
Right.
Becoming better. How do you develop discipline when motivation isn't there?
Motivation and discipline is a state function. So as you calm your nervous system, it will automatically come. These things come naturally. So you have calmed the nervous system. You create capacity when you do that, when you take the 1 steps. And it will happen naturally. These are not things that you have to, like they say, get a drug for. That's why I don't tell people, I am going to teach you how to be motivated. I don't say that. I'm going to teach you how to be, no. These are state functions that you have naturally on your own. I don't need to teach you to do that. I need to help you calm your mental load so that these operators can come online.
So you just let them be disciplined, but you don't teach them.
No, I don't teach discipline.
You just give them permission.
I give you, understand? I take out all the clearing. I come with my weed eater. I cut all the grass on your lawn there.
So
You don't have no excuse. You understand the flowers. You can run outside and kick your ball. Yeah. Free up yourself.
What's the one mistake that you always see people make when like procrastinating, when trying to deal with procrastination?
Thinking their way out of it. Trying to think like, boy, okay, you know what?
No, that's so,
Don't laugh.
that's so true, because procrastination is already thinking. So it's like you use it thinking to stop thinking.
You can think your way out of procrastination. And another thing they do is they try to blame the system, somebody, although you might feel like is somebody that doing something to you or something outside. Procrastination is an internal problem, my brother. You that causing the procrastination. Who are you blaming?
Wow.
Don't blame nobody.
Okay. So what should I immediately stop doing then? Stop thinking.
That I have a problem. Let's stop that. That I'm behind. Because nobody's walking the same path as you. Nobody.
For somebody that's having that's balancing, work, life, children, maybe even a side hustle, something else. What does or should a productive day look like to me?
All right. So first of all, productivity. Let's say I debunking another thing. Productivity is not volume. Okay, it is prioritization. It is things that move the needle from point A to point B. That is what it is. That's something that takes you closer to where you want to go. So you have all of those things juggling. We're not adding to your plate. We're not adding to your plate. So we only for the day only create 1 to 3 impact tasks, non-negotiable things that you have to do. And once you do that, it is complete. You don't need to be chasing nothing. You don't need to prove to nobody that you did what you did.
You were indeed productive.
You were productive. Okay, we're making 1 to 3 non-negotiables. Everything else is secondary. Once those things get done, and usually it has to be something of something at your job, something for your personal life, and something for your ambition. And the something for your ambition is usually something towards your goal. Okay. So your personal life could be, if you're a mom, something for your kids, or something for your relationship if you're married, etc. You do something for that. You do something for work that is of top priority, and then you do something towards your ambition, which is like your goal. So if you have the podcast stuff to do and maybe you cannot record, you can work on the thumbnail. All of these are important tasks. What we don't realize is every different segment of the goal, not just the goal, not the end result, is important.
So my last question that I have for you is this, right? In all what we've spoken about, just encompassing everything, for us to just be better, more productive, disciplined, motivated, whatever, what is this shift, this mindset shift that needs to change from where we are now to where we want to be? What is this mindset shift that has to happen for us?
It's not a mindset shift. It's your relationship with you. Because people try to change their behaviors and the habits without fixing up the relationship with yourself. That's your foundation. Nothing is going to stick if that is rocky. So fixing your relationship with you is how you are going to win the race, because that foundation that you're doing there covers mental and emotional. So guess what? If you mentally free, you emotionally healthy, mama, finance is the list of your worries. You know how to multiply because your brain is on 24/7. So strategy and everything flows to you naturally. You're naturally disciplined. You're naturally motivated. Your willpower there driving you. You will get the financial freedom.
I love it. I truly love it, because I feel like from me just asking the same question in different ways to different people that have come there before, a lot of the things they've said is just, you need to work on here first. Everything comes from here, and then it manifests outside of you, but everything starts within you.
Within you.
Yeah.
Yes, success starts in the mind, but success is a product of the relationship of you and you. It's really you versus you. And until we don't realize that, we are going to continue to hit walls.
Thank you
You're
for the
welcome.
information. As usual, we have a game. So the name of the game is called This or That.
Okay.
All you have to do, I'm going to give you 2 choices.
Okay.
And you're going to choose between
This or that.
this or that.
Okay.
Right? As quick as possible. You know already. So, this or that. Money or fame?
Money.
Love or success?
Love.
Loyalty or honesty?
Honesty.
Past or future?
Future.
Fame or privacy?
Privacy.
Power or peace?
Peace.
Risk or comfort?
Risk.
Truth or happiness?
Happiness.
Freedom or security?
Freedom.
Passion or stability?
Passion.
Respect or popularity?
Respect.
Fame or family?
Family.
Hustle or balance?
Balance. You know me and hustle already. Balance.
Logic or emotion?
Whew, you kind of need both, but let's go with logic.
Okay. Control or chaos?
Control.
Revenge or forgiveness?
Forgiveness.
Dream big or play it safe?
Dream ridiculously huge.
Sarah, thank you again
You're
for
welcome.
being here. I really, as usual, enjoy this. This has been a really great episode, and I really hope that we could help the free thinkers, the free thinking family, the free flow family. I really hope we can help them out when it comes to just improving themselves, being that high achiever, getting from point A to B.
Point B.
I really hope that we could help. If there's anything interesting, intriguing that you all thought she said, make sure you all comment. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. Let's check her. Let's argue with her, quarrel with her. Let her come back and respond.
Let's argue for court. You might just put me like this.
Let's fight.
Slaughter me like that, army.
She said she wanted to fight. She said she had time to fight today.
Slaughter me like that, army.
Yeah, but thank you again
You're
for being here.
welcome.
Guys, Sarah.
Yes. So
Sarah.
follow me on Instagram, Sarah Chronicles _.
Alright, quick plug again.
Quick plug.
Alright. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yes.